Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? We've got a little bit of a different game today with a little bit of a different crew. Before we start, though, and speaking of Hangout, I just want to quickly give a shout out to thank you, Allie Pitchford, for being here today and being a guest player on this. I
Yeah.
also want to quickly highlight that we have two giveaways right now. If you take a look over there in that box, one of them is for the book Yimmer. Oh, I have to start the giveaway, don't I? Dang, it's been so long since I've done this. Step one.
You
Okay.
don't have Steven to do the hype paragraph either.
Right. I have a little blurb that I'm supposed to read later. I can also hand it off to somebody else to read if they want. But yeah, so we have a copy of Yimmer. We have two copies of Yimmer to give away, the paperback. And you just use !enter to enter into that. North America only, though, unfortunately, because shipping is very expensive. The other thing that we have is a set of dice and a dice tray from Phoenix Dice, the wonderful, the generous, the magnanimous Phoenix Dice, and that is !ticket to enter that, as always. So with that, that's the end of my announcements for the giveaways. How's everybody doing today?
I'm I'm pretty good. I'm looking forward to this. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, doing awesome, man. Join the summer. I guess is it winter in Australia though?
Yeah, it's winter
Yeah.
here right now.
Ah.
It is
Sounds nice. I was just
kind of
thinking the other
chilly.
day if I could cross from the north to the south hemisphere and then back again, I would never have to deal with summer. Great.
That's true. That is true.
Long plane
Wow.
rides though.
Yeah. Till
I
we
mean, I
get
do
that
like
through the center of the Earth transport, like in Total Recall reboot or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do like the winter more than the summer a little bit, just because I can only get I can only like lose so many layers before it's like you can't get any cooler. But you can always add clothes on in the winter.
Totally.
That's true.
So real quick, so the dice can be won by anybody anywhere in the world, and that is !ticket to enter that in the chat. It's only the book that is US only. And thank you for the sub, Shake Dark Song. We really appreciate it. Any and all subs. Any all subs. We're trying to do so
Oh,
much
yeah.
new content in the future, and all that stuff really helps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while since we've had Randy on the Hangout. And it's also been a while since we've had Allie on the Hangout.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
So what have you been working on, like, for all these months?
Well, I know I have I've had a couple of projects release. I had one project release, one that's on Kickstarter right now.
Ooh.
So one was a sci-fi short story that followed up the one that I had in Apex World of Dinosaurs. And then the other one is a fantasy short story. That's the one on Kickstarter called The Sun Spear, and it's set in my Grey Mantle setting.
Oh, awesome.
So neat.
You have
I
a
think that's
link
what
you
I'm.
want to pop into the chat or
Yeah,
something?
I can do that.
And then also, like, do you want to tell us more about Grey Mantle?
Yeah, actually. Grey Mantle is kind of it's a setting that Eric and I have been bandying ideas around about for a little while now. Uh, it's I've always kind of imagined it as this city on a nexus. The points between the various planes of existence are very thin there. And as such, it tends to be a place that has a lot of extraplanar activity. There are a lot of warlocks in the city because there are extraplanar entities trying to gain control of it for various reasons. And so it's kind of like stylistically, it's somewhere on what I call it's styled kind of what I call magipunk. It's kind of steampunk level of technology, but everything's fueled by magic. So, you've got pocket pocket watches, trains, you've got like what look like oil lamps, but they're actually got like an ever burning flame in them kind of thing. lighting the city streets, and it's been a lot of fun to play around with so far. Sunspear doesn't touch a lot on the city itself. It's just kind of a small like introduction of a couple of major characters on a fun little jaunt. Uh, but yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff going on there. And
Yeah.
I'm also working on a novella that I'm releasing chapter by chapter on my Patreon. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, that one's gonna be a heist story.
Oh, I love
Jeez.
heist stories.
So you got a couple things going on.
I got a couple things, yeah.
You've been busy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the mage punk sounds really cool.
Oh yeah.
I like just the world building. You could probably just spend forever just coming up with.
There we go. Oh yeah. And I mean, Eric's been a huge help. He's come up with some great ideas, and honestly, my favorite character that's come out of it so far is actually one that he helped create. So I am pleased.
That's very cool. I do feel like sometimes like Eric is he's clearly influenced very much by anime and by like JRPGs and but also the MCU. I've seen some very clear like MCU influences in some of his storylines and stuff like that on our stream. And yeah, I was just thinking that was sounding a little bit like he's trying to stay parallel with like what's going on in the MCU, because they're starting to get into all of the multi-dimensional.
Yeah. Well, that was actually the multiplanar thing is actually kind of my idea.
Yeah.
I've been playing around with that a little bit. One of the things that I latched onto more recently is the shadows play a big part. It's one of the things that I'm bringing in is especially because I've always wanted to write Shay stories, and I can't really do much with that. So
Mhm.
I've worked a lot of those ideas into this character that I'm focusing on for the novella called Sparrow, who does feature in the short story, but as a secondary character.
Hmm.
And effectively, like if I were to stat her up mechanically in D&D or something, she'd be probably be using like Eric's uh, Shadow Dancer build that he's come up with.
Hmm.
And so that plays a huge part. But the way I'm playing with it is that rather than having like the Shadowfell or something similar like that,
Mhm.
it's there is a shadow plane, but it is pure entropy. There aren't people there. There aren't landscapes. It's not a place you can go and have a good time. It is the hungering dark, and it is not a fun place to be.
Are there like
And
anti-life beings? Are there like negative plane beings kind of a thing? Or
I'm still figuring that out. I don't
yeah.
know. Like it's the sort of thing where like just the realm can kill you.
Yeah,
So
right.
but having like
Mm.
something down there kind of in the style of like the reasons why we're scared of the deep ocean, where because we don't know what's in there, kind of delights me a little bit.
Right, yeah.
um
Yeah,
The ocean can kill you. Why do we need sharks too? But yeah.
right. I think
yeah.
at least personally for me, like I love those sort of settings, of course, and the dangerous things that you could find there. But I also like the deep ocean. Really like it when there's something really random that's just like oddly beautiful, like very like eerily
Oh
beautiful
yeah.
or like
yeah, yeah,
uniquely.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
uh the
Jinx.
way I'm the way I'm playing it is that even like when she uses her powers, it skirts through this kind of middle area, this kind of bleed zone between the prime material and to continue using D&D terms, and whatever the heck this shadow place is. And even that is rough because like the longer a distance you travel, the less likely you're coming out. And even a short distance, like it leaches the warmth from your body. It leaves kind of like the way she describes it, it
Mm,
leaves kind of an oily sensation on her skin. It's not a pleasant traversal.
yeah.
And it's part of the narrative I'm playing with is that she has these abilities, but she's very hesitant to use them much, at least beyond like just popping around in a fight, because going in there or relying too much on the abilities that she's tapping into is a scary prospect.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like it when superpowers have like a, they're not just free. There's
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so Randy, what have you been up to? How long has it been since you've since Rogar retired?
It's been a couple months.
Couple months?
At least. And yeah, I as I mentioned on Monday, I basically, one of the things that I took advantage of was I had this Frankenstein of a novel that had started as a bonus short story for the Discord, and then I became a novella, and then I just like kind of did all like said, oh nope, threw away a bunch of stuff and restarted with original world building and stuff like that, and additional characters, and turned into a 180,000 word novel. So I was like, I have to get this thing done first of all, and it was kind of closing a chapter like on my life too. Like Dungeon Scrawlers was one of the main things that got me through like the pandemic, the couple of years of the pandemic. Like, oh yeah, what is time? Oh yeah, it's Wednesday, I have the game. Like my week started to become like built around, oh yeah, Wednesday is the game. And then so like so this book kind of became also sort of like, I think it was a low stakes thing that I could write, even though I was feeling all of this anxiety and distraction and everything else during the pandemic and everything else that was going on. So, but I needed to get it done and get it out the door so that I could be freed to like think about the other stuff. So I did that, sent that to my agent. We'll see if anything comes of it. I don't know. Like I said, it's a kind of a Frankenstein novel because things that start as one thing but then become another thing sometimes are not. They don't have, it wasn't. I didn't plan. I didn't do a save the cat plot from the beginning to the end or anything like that, right? And then I doing a lot of volunteer work. Now I'm
wait before you move on, I want to ask you,
yeah,
you said 180,000 words. Is that just the draft? Like, what is the final word count?
Yeah, well, it was like 210 or something like that. And then I cut it back to 180. And also I probably wrote another 50,000 that were in like earlier drafts that got completely cut. So I have a bunch of like, bonus DVD material type stuff that I can throw out there later.
You cut out 80,000 words. That's like a short novel right there. There's like another whole short novel.
Not even a short novel. That's just a novel.
Yeah. There you go.
So like, yeah, I'm a slow writer, but like over 2 years or whatever it has been of the pandemic since I started this project, like, I was consistently writing. I was throughout, and I think part of the reason that I was because I was working on this project. And like I said, it was just something that I was just having fun with and felt was kind of low stakes and that kind of a thing. So, but yeah, now I'm ready to like, sort of, I'm excited about the next thing I'm working on, which is I also call Mage Punk, and it's basically it's got like because it's sort of cyberpunk but magic, and it's it's got like magical hackers and stuff like this, and so like it's but it's something that I am starting to outline, and I'm the first time in many years where it's a project that didn't start as one thing or that kind of ended up another thing. It's something that I am consciously trying to apply everything I've learned as a writer up to this point to this project. So I'm kind of excited and, nervous to see what ends up happening with that. So yeah, the writing's been steady and interesting. And then, like I said, yeah, I've been volunteering. I started, so I'm volunteering for the Trevor Project.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a great nonprofit.
Yeah. And it's definitely, I can tell I'm going to need to like build in some sort of like, like self-care rituals and stuff like that. But it's, I'll put a link to it in the thing. It's really worthy.
Yeah, while you're doing that, that real quick, hi Mitsuki, first time chatter Mitsuki 808. Hey, how's it going? And also thank you very much for the Prime sub, Metagrowth, and the 1 month sub, Monk of Greyhawk. Monk of Greyhawk, we really appreciate all the subs that you keep dishing us. And just a
Nice.
real quick reminder, we do have 2 giveaways today. !enter to try to win a copy of Yimmer, North America only. !ticket in order to try to win a set of dice and a dice tray from Phoenix Dice. Anyone in the world may enter that one.
Sweet.
Yeah, so tell us about the Trevor Project and what to do.
Yeah, so the Trevor Project it's primarily aimed at LGBTQ youth, so like 18 to 24-ish. Although they are open to other people reaching out. It's just a crisis. They have a phone, chat, and text where you can reach out to them, and also just and it's obviously if you are in emotional distress or a lot of people reach out. Pretty common things are they're thinking about coming out or they have come out and it didn't there's some issues around it or and just struggling with with school, family, whatever it may be.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. So thank you so much for the
Holy
gift sub,
crap.
Shay.
Yeah.
And then thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gift subs, Original Angston. We got ourselves a little mini hype train going on. I mean, it's not the most appropriate moment, I guess. I should say this very solemnly because you're talking about a very serious topic. We have
that's
level 1 hype train going on. Thank you, all of our viewers out there, for starting this train.
let's give some hype for supporting those in need. Yeah.
Mhm.
So no, so I feel it's good. I was volunteering at this care center for like disabled and elderly before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic came, that went away because of all the health concerns. You couldn't really be directly involved, and so I was kind of a little bit afloat for a while there. I was doing like online volunteer type stuff, but it just wasn't quite as satisfying. And then and then recently there's just been this huge there's a certain political party in our country that is using trans rights and as like a boogeyman, and it's terrible, and they're passing tons of laws freaking out about things that they don't need to be freaking out about. Anyway, so there's a lot of negative in the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida and other things. So sorry, yep, it's a hype train.
There's like, I don't know what to do.
It's really serious stuff, and there's like, woo, yeah,
like, listening to you talk about this like hurts my heart. But like people are being so generous in the chat.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes,
I don't know how to react.
So anyway, I was like, I felt now was in time that it inspired me. I felt this was a calling to like reach out, do something to be part of the solution, not the problem. Anyway,
no, that's great.
So moving on.
Wait, real quick, I just want to call out. Thank you so much, the Bro Vice, for the Prime sub and the follow. We really appreciate and welcome. And then Monk of Greyhawk, once again, always such a generous supporter of ours, month in, month out. Thank you. We've surpassed our goal of 60 subs for the month, so I'm gonna raise it a little bit.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Angston. So yeah. What else have I been up to? It's a lot of heavy stuff.
It's to welcome you back, Randy. People are hyped.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100
bits from Doug. Thank you. Oh, Joe Bree, another gift sub. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I created a new character who
91% there for the next level. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm in listening mode. I'm listening.
Oh, no, it's good. It's good, man. No, this is exciting stuff. I created a new character, obviously, that I hope to like play a little bit on the stream in a while, and doing kind of some learning a bit about the background and stuff. I'll say they're from. The only thing I'll say about them is they're from Icewind Dale. So I've been like, I played I played the old Icewind Dale game again, just to like I burned my way through that. And
or number 2.
Number 1. So
I replay those.
Yeah, that's right. I can
those
play
are so good. Yeah, you can even import the party.
Yeah, and then I got and then I started to read the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden thing, just to like make sure that I'm to date and kind of have that frame of reference in case someone like asks me like some obnoxious question about 10 towns or something like that. I can pretend like I know something about it.
Fair, yeah.
But yeah. So that's been enjoying that, doing that.
I will
Replayed through.
say,
Oh, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
will say, like, that is actually one of the things you just reminded me, like, back in the day when we had like a series of D&D RPGs, CRPGs coming out in a row, like, you can import your party and move them from one game to another. And I really like that. I definitely, like, at least imported one character, that I really enjoyed between the different games, who was my main. And we don't really have that anymore, with the lack of so many D&D RPGs.
Yeah, they don't. Did they? I don't know. I was gonna say, didn't Mass Effect do a little bit of that, or maybe?
Mass Effect did, yeah.
And,
But that was
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age.
The character so much is like, wasn't it that some of the characters' choices?
Right. Yeah, the choices exactly
affected the world.
Yeah, but the old D&D games, you could just take the character, like you could just take your level 10 character or whatever, and just tromp through the beginning of the game, overpower, doesn't matter.
And that's what you would do a lot too, to like sort of like, I mean, there weren't as many like cheats, but you could like, especially this is talking to my age, like the floppy disks, you'd have the character save floppy disks and you'd have 2 of them, and then you'd save and you'd copy the character onto the other one, and you'd do this kind of a looping thing where you'd build up your characters, like you'd save it and then you'd give all of this high level gear from this one person to this other character, and then you'd go in and you sell it all and get a bunch of gold, and then save that character to the second disc, and then send it anyway. And you do this looping thing where you could trick and then like build up all your gold and give everybody the cool equipment, and then start the game, sort of a thing, or early on in the game. Yeah, that was a very manual. Now you can just type in a code or something, or rewrite the init file or something like that. But yeah.
Thank you, Original Langston, completing the hype train for Tier 2. So,
hype train.
Yeah, I think the other part of the old games was like they didn't thoroughly. Oh, no. I guess it's untrue, because even the new games, they don't thoroughly test all the scenarios, so you get some really wonky ones. Like I always just remember Daggerfall, Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, and like the one trick to getting infinite money is to go into a shopkeeper's shop. And then you just loiter. You wait and you loiter to the point where the shop is closed, and then the shopkeeper is programmed to leave, but you're still in the store. Like, they just let you stay. And then you could pocket everything at that point because nobody's trying to catch you. And then you just loiter again, and you wait till the store opens, and the shopkeeper's there again, and then you just sell them back all their wares.
All their own stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was a glitch in Oblivion in the early days, too, where it was something where you'd equip an arrow, a single arrow, and then you'd equip something else like a potion or something like that, and then you'd punch the ground, and like 100 of those potions would pop out, kind of there, or whatever item it was. So you could just basically spawn massive numbers of any item that you wanted through this weird like series of steps that was a glitch. And who finds those things, right? Who figures out, well, if you equip one arrow, a single arrow, and then equip this other thing, and then just as you hit this button, you punch the ground really quick, it'll spot. Like, the number of combinations that someone must have gone through to find that glitch, like, mind-boggling. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So the thing that really blows my mind is that there's like so many of these speedrunners nowadays who find like little exploits like that in order to shave down their time. But there's like a new type of run that I've been seeing lately, which is man, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's like essentially like where you take the controller and you input like a series of commands so quickly and in a specific order in order to manipulate the memory that's like soft loaded into your console. And through no other third-party software, just through like purely commands and manipulation of what gets loaded and unloaded in the software, you can access things that are locked within the game. And the best demonstration of this that I saw recently was Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time. So most of us have played the Ocarina of Time, but little did we know throughout all these decades that there was beta content like locked into the cartridge. Beta content that includes like items, areas, and the Triforce itself. Like, through doing this, you could actually find like a locked away portion of the game which allows you to access the Triforce, and then once you get it, you actually get 3 different choices, and so that allows you to see three different endings that nobody knew existed ever. And one of these endings blew my mind. Like, just blew my mind, like with what we could have had with the N64 and the potential of it.
Wow.
So go out there and like look up this YouTube video, at least like watch the little beginning of it, and then watch like maybe the last 5 minutes where you can see the different Triforce choices, and you get to see like what ending.
So just secret endings, Ocarina of Time, Triforce probably would find it, some string like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to post a link in the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. It's amazing. If you're an Ocarina of Time fan, look it up. Treat yourself. Okay, so it is 6:26. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we take a little break and then we start the stream?
I think I'm good. I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
No, we're good.
All right, let's give away some money, friends. Woo! We'll be back in just a bit.
All right.